Aries, if your words feel too heavy to speak today, stop scrolling. This is not random. This is not a mood. On July 24th and 25th, something ancient inside you is asking for silence, and what you do next could change everything. Picture the Zodiac wheel the moment it begins to turn each year, and there, blazing first into existence before any other sign, stands Aries, the ram, the first spark, the initiator who speaks before doubt can catch up, who moves before fear has time to settle in. In your entire life, silence has rarely been your default language. Fire doesn't sit quietly. Fire moves. So when a sign built entirely on motion suddenly goes still, the universe takes notice. And so should you. If you are an Aries rising, or you carry strong Aries placements in your chart, pay close attention to what has shifted around you in the last day. Yesterday, July 23rd, 2026, Mercury, the planet that governs thought, words, and every conversation you've ever had, completed its retrograde journey through the emotional depths of Cancer and Gemini, and finally turned direct again. For weeks, your words haven't fully belonged to you. Conversations misfired, old topics resurfaced uninvited, dragging up things you thought were finished. And now, right as that cosmic static clears, you don't want to speak. Not because something is wrong, because something, for the first time in a long time, is finally right. Here is what most people watching this will get wrong about themselves today. They'll assume that an Aries going quiet means an Aries who is struggling, withdrawing, losing their fire. It is the opposite. On July 24th and 25th, 2026, this silence is not the absence of your fire. It is your fire being protected, gathered, condensed, kept from scattering into words that would only relieve the pressure without changing anything. Every warrior who has ever mattered has known this exact moment, the one right before the strike, when everything goes still, when even your own breath feels too loud. That is where you are standing right now. This is not a coincidence of timing. This is a message written directly into the sky for you, specifically on these 2 days. Not for Taurus, not for Scorpio, for Aries, because your entire chart, your entire year, has been quietly rearranging itself since the very beginning of 2026. And what's happening today is the moment that rearrangement finally reaches your voice. To understand why this feels so unfamiliar, so almost sacred, you have to look at what has been living inside your sign since January. Something ancient, something most Aries have never had to sit with before. And it has been waiting for a day exactly like this one to make itself known. Keep watching, because what I'm about to tell you will explain every strange, quiet, oddly peaceful feeling you've had over these past few hours. On January 26th, 2026, something happened that most Aries never felt directly, but every Aries has been living inside of ever since. Neptune, the planet of dreams, intuition, spirituality, and the dissolving of illusion, entered your sign. Let that land for a second. Neptune moves so slowly it spends over a decade in a single sign. The last time this planet touched Aries this way, the world looked completely different. This is not a small transit. This is generational. And it landed directly on you. Neptune doesn't speak the language Aries was raised on. Your ruling planet, Mars, speaks in action, clear, direct, immediate. Neptune speaks in fog, in feeling, in dreams that mean more than they say, in the sense that something is true before you have any proof of it. For a sign that has always trusted what it can see and do, Neptune has spent the last 6 months quietly teaching you to trust what you can only feel. That is disorienting for a fire sign. It can feel like losing your edge. It is not. It is your edge being refined into something deeper. Instinct becoming intuition. Reaction becoming knowing. Then, on February 13th, 2026, Saturn, the planet of discipline, maturity, and karmic responsibility, also entered Aries. Saturn does not care about your speed. Saturn asks one question over and over in every situation you enter this year. Is this fire serving you, or is it ruling you? So here you are, on July 24th and 25th, standing at the exact point where these two enormous energies meet your everyday life. Neptune whispering, feel this fully before you name it. Saturn insisting, do not waste your words on something you haven't fully understood yet. And Mercury, freshly turned direct, finally giving you the clarity to hear both of them at once. This is why the silence feels different this time. It isn't avoidance. It is the most mature, most spiritually awake version of you, choosing, maybe for the first time, to let a feeling finish forming before turning it into a sentence. Somewhere in you right now, there is a truth that hasn't found its words yet, and every hour you protect this silence, that truth gets a little clearer. The universe already knows this is happening to you, and it's leaving you proof. Small, unmistakable signs scattered through your day, confirming that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Let me show you what to look for. Here is what tends to happen when a sign as loud as Aries steps into sacred silence. The universe gets louder to compensate, not in noise, in signs. Over these 2 days, pay close attention to numbers. If you glance at a clock and it happens to read 11:11 or 3:33 or 4:44, more than once, more than feels like chance. That is not superstition. Repeating numbers are widely regarded as the universe's way of confirming a message it already sent you through feeling. You felt the silence first. The numbers are simply saying, yes, you read that correctly. Watch for songs too. A lyric that plays at exactly the wrong or exactly the right moment. One that seems to answer a question you never said out loud. That's not coincidence. Music slips past the logical mind in a way conversation cannot. And right now, with Neptune wrapped around your sign, music may be speaking to you more clearly than people are. Watch for faces and memories that resurface without explanation. Someone you haven't thought about in months, crossing your mind out of nowhere. An old conversation replaying itself, but this time you notice something in it you missed before. With Mercury freshly direct, the universe is handing back pieces of the past specifically so you can finally see them clearly. Not to relive them, but to release them. Watch your dreams, especially tonight. Neptune governs the dream world, and during a Neptune-Aries transit, dreams can feel less like fiction and more like memory. Vivid, symbolic, strangely calm even when the content is intense. If you wake up remembering a dream in unusual detail this week, write it down before it fades. It is not random. It is your soul speaking in the one language that bypasses your very loud, very fast waking mind. And watch for animals, a bird that lands closer than it should, a creature that crosses your path and holds your gaze a beat too long. Across nearly every spiritual tradition, animals are considered messengers precisely because they carry no ego, no agenda. When one appears and something in your chest tightens or softens, that is not your imagination. That is recognition. None of these signs need to be analysed to death. They're meant to be received. Each one is a small nod from the universe confirming the same thing. You are not imagining this shift. You are not overreacting. You are quite literally being spoken to. And beneath all of these signs, something even bigger is happening. A transformation your soul has been building toward for months, and it is finally close enough to touch. There is an old truth that land and fire and people all seem to share. Sometimes, before anything new can grow, the old growth has to burn away first, not destroyed, cleared. That is exactly what is happening inside you right now, and it explains why this silence doesn't feel empty. It feels full, heavy in a good way, like something is settling into place rather than falling apart. For your entire life, Aries, your identity has been built around speed, first to speak, first to act, first to decide. That instinct has served you. It's likely the reason you've survived things that would have paralyzed other signs. But instinct that never pauses eventually starts running on autopilot, reacting instead of choosing. And somewhere underneath the surface, a part of you has been tired of that for longer than you've admitted. This transit, Neptune softening your edges, Saturn asking you to earn your fire instead of just wielding it, is not erasing the parts of you that lead, that ignite, that go first. It is burning away the reflexive version of that fire, the version that spoke to fill silence instead of to say something true. What's left afterward isn't a quieter Aries, it's a more precise one, a version of you whose fire only moves when it actually means something. And this is happening on a timeline. The moon is currently waxing, swelling toward a full moon in Capricorn on July 29th, just days from now. Capricorn is the sign of structure, consequence, and long overdue reckonings. Whatever has been quietly building in you across these silent days is going to reach a decision point very soon. Not a dramatic collapse, a clarity, a moment where you finally know what to do, because you finally let yourself feel it fully first. And here's the part almost no one talks about. While you've been going quiet, Jupiter, the planet of luck, growth, and expansion, has just moved into Leo, your fellow fire sign, forming one of the most naturally supportive angles in the entire zodiac to your sign. Jupiter isn't asking you to be loud right now. It's building something behind the scenes, gathering momentum for the exact moment your voice returns. This silence is not the end of your story this year. It is the inhale before the loudest, most radiant chapter you've had in a long time. So if today feels sacred, strange, almost too quiet for the Aries you know yourself to be, trust it completely. You are not losing yourself. You are meeting a version of yourself that has been waiting under the noise for a very long time. Now let me show you exactly what to do with this energy, because how you handle these next 48 hours will matter more than you think. First, and this matters more than anything else I tell you today, do not apologize for this silence. Do not force a smile you don't feel, or fill a quiet room with small talk just because the old version of you thinks that's what's expected. If someone asks if you're okay, you're allowed to simply say, "I'm just quiet today," and let that be the whole truth. It is enough. Second, protect this silence the way you would protect anything sacred. That might mean less time on your phone today. It might mean turning off notifications for an hour, eating a meal without a screen in front of you, or sitting outside for 10 minutes doing absolutely nothing except noticing your own breath. Neptune's gifts don't arrive through noise, they arrive through space, and right now you are finally making space for them. Third, keep something nearby to write with, not to plan, not to organize your thoughts into a to-do list, just to catch whatever rises. A phrase, an image, a memory that surfaced for no clear reason, a feeling you can't yet name. You don't need to understand it today. You just need to not lose it. Aries who write even a few unfiltered lines during a transit like this often find weeks later that those scattered words were the first draft of a decision that changed everything. Fourth, and this is important, do not confuse this silence with permission to disappear on the people who genuinely need you. This isn't about isolation, it's about discernment. Speak when something is true and necessary. Stay quiet when something is just noise trying to escape through your mouth because sitting with it feels uncomfortable. You will know the difference if you actually pause long enough to check. If everything I've said today has felt less like a video and more like something read back to you from inside your own chest. I want to know. Comment the word awakening below right now before you keep scrolling. I read every single one, and I want to see exactly how many of you felt this shift on the very same 2 days. It matters to me, and it will matter to you too when you scroll back through these comments later and remember exactly where you were when this started. This silence will not last forever, and it isn't supposed to. It is a threshold, not a home. But everything you do with these next 48 hours, every word you hold back, every sign you actually notice instead of scroll past, is shaping what your voice sounds like when it finally returns. And Aries, when it returns, it is going to be so much louder and so much more powerful than it has ever been before. So if today, July 24th or 25th, you felt that sudden unfamiliar urge to go quiet, now you know the truth. This was never a glitch in your fire, Aries. It was Neptune teaching you to feel before you speak, Saturn teaching you to earn your words, and the universe, in its own patient language, confirming that you are exactly on schedule for the transformation your soul has been building toward all year. Before you go, if this message found you at the right moment, hit like, so it reaches the next Aries who needs to hear it today. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because what's coming for your sign after this Capricorn full moon is even bigger than what we covered here. And don't forget, comment awakening below right now, so I know you felt this too. Trust the quiet, Aries. It's not the end of your fire. It's the beginning of a version of you the whole world hasn't met yet. I'll see you in the next one.